Hello everyone, and hello Mr. Roli. My name is Nadia Desianti, and today I'm going to present an argumentative paragraph analysis based on an article I selected from the CEL journal. The article I choose is titled Building Teacher Agency Through Collaborative Lesson Planning, Student-Teachers Evaluative Perspective, written by Toshinobu Nagamine and published in the year 2025. I choose this article because it discusses how student teachers can develop teacher agency through collaborative lesson planning. The teacher agency means the ability of teachers to make decisions, solve problems, and take responsibility for their teaching practice. After reading the article carefully, I collaborate with Gemini to create an argumentative paragraph based on the findings of the study. In this presentation, I will explain the paragraph, its argumentative structure, and the meta-discourse markers that make it persuasive. So, based on my active reading of this study, I collaborate with Gemini to generate a strong argumentative paragraph. I'm holding the printout of the paragraph right here, and it reads as follows. Implementing collaborative lesson planning in EFL teacher education programs is undeniably crucial for building teacher agency. Yet its ultimate success hinges on a carefully managed, balanced group composition rather than random peer assignment. Data from Nagamine's 2025 a qualitative study involving 19 Japanese student teachers demonstrated that random pairings create severe behavioral friction, specifically while high proficiency students naturally emphasize logical reasoning. Their individualistic tendencies often cause them to dominate lesson planning and induce students' autonomy and mirrors natural social bonding. This assumption is profoundly flawed. However, because without intentional intervention regarding factors like sex ratios and language proficiency, unguided group risks falling into countrified collegiality or silencing introvert members who feel intimidated by dominant peers. Therefore, teacher educators must abandon passive group segment strategies and actively engineer balanced collaborative units to truly cultivate both the pedagogical authority and interpersonal harmony vital for future educators. That is the argumentative paragraph generated from the article findings. Now I will explain the structural scaffolding of this argumentative paragraph. An argumentative paragraph is different from a summary paragraph. A summary only reports information. An argumentative paragraph uses information and evidence to defend a position or opinion. So this paragraph contains four important parts. The first part is the main claim. The main claim appears in the first sentence. The writer argues that collaborative lesson planning is very important for building teacher agency. Mm, However, the success of this activity depends on balanced group composition. In other words, the writer does not simply say that collaboration is good. The writer also argues that collaboration only works effectively when the groups are carefully organized. This is a strong claim because people may have different opinions about how students should be grouped. The second part is the evidence. The paragraph does not only mention the findings of the research, instead it uses the findings to support the claim. The article studied 19 Japanese student teachers. The results showed that students with higher language proficiency often had stronger logical reasoning skills. However, some of the students tended to dominate discussions and decision-making processes. As a result, other students sometimes felt anxious, uncomfortable, or less confident. This evidence is important because it proves that random grouping can create problems during collaboration. Therefore, the evidence strengthens the writer's argument that balanced grouping is necessary. Next, the third part is the counter argument and refutation. A good argumentative paragraph often considers another viewpoint. In this paragraph, the writer acknowledges that some people may support free-form group selection. These people may believe that students should choose their own partners because it increases freedom and autonomy. At first, this argument sounds reasonable. However, the writer immediately challenged this idea. The paragraph explained that unguided grouping can create problems such as unequal participation, dominant members, and limited opportunities for quieter students. The writer also mentioned the concept of quantified collegiality. This means that group members may appear cooperative, but real collaboration does not actually happen. Because of these risks, the paragraph rejects the idea that students should always choose their own groups. And the final part is the resolution. The paragraph ends with a clear recommendation. The writer suggests that teacher educators should actively create balanced groups instead of allowing random assignment. The goal is to develop both pedagogical skills and positive social interaction. This ending is effective because it provides a practical solution to the problem discussed earlier. So the paragraph follows a clear structure. First, the claim. Second, the evidence. Third, the counter-argument and refutation. And finally, the resolution. This structure makes the paragraph logical, persuasive, and easy to follow. Next, beyond its structural framework, this paragraph is highly persuasive because of its strategic use of meta-discourse. I would like to point out how it balances both interactive and interactional markers. First, let's look at interactive meta-discourse, which guides the reader through the text. The first, the first example is the word specifically, which functions as a code clause or transition marker to signal that the detailed evidence from the data is about to clarify the claim. This helps the reader by linking the abstract idea of group friction directly to the empirical finding regarding high proficiency students' behavior. And the second example is conversely, which serves to signal a direct shift to an opposing counter-argument, preparing the reader for the rhetorical debate. The second, let's examine interactional meta-discourse, which builds a direct relationship and establishes the writer's stance. First, we see a clear example of a booster when the text says undeniable, crucial. This allows the writer to project a strong, authoritative voice and establish certain conviction about the baseline importance of teacher agency. Another example is profoundly flawed, which acts as an attitude marker and function to explicitly display the writer's critical stance against unguided group structures, persuading the audience to reject the counter argument. In conclusion, collaborating with Gemini allowed me to see exactly how professional academic writing balances rigid structural scaffolding with interpersonal metadiscourse to make a compelling argument. That concludes my analysis presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention.